Let me quick, before I'm kind of hitting things helter-skelter here. Where did I put... oh, I know where I put it, didn't I? Yeah. So, remember I did a quick question to ChatGPT. Give me a summary of Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. And so it gives me, okay, well, this is one of his most influential works, etc. Eudaimonia, I mentioned, that's happiness. And where do we get eudaimonia from? That's not just the happiness of having pizza. That's the kind of happiness that you get when you're flourishing. And that takes not just the opportunity to have a contemplative life, an education. It also means you have enough food, you have a family, you have a community. You need a good community in order for people to be good. To raise good children, you have to have good parents. Good parents are only going to be possible if you have a peaceful, good community, etc. So it's the whole thing, and that's why politics is the main science of happiness for Aristotle. The doctrine of the mean, there's the good is the mean between extremes, right? You don't do too much or too little of the things that are important for us. Right? Courage is the mean between recklessness and cowardice. Virtue is cultivated through habit. You have to develop habits, good habits, etc. The types of virtue, moral virtues, intellectual virtues, the role of reason. One of the neat things I've been following is an awful lot of the conservatives that I grew up being a conservative myself. My hero when I was a young college student was William F. Buckley Jr. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all. Awful lot of criticism of him today, but in any case, at the time, that was the person that I thought, wow, that's the educated person who has the most sense, etc. Right? So that's the one I kind of idolized. What did it become like? Another one that I know today, well, he's dead. William F. Buckley Jr. is dead. But Bill Kristol, or Billy Crystal, or William Crystal, a specific one, no, I know there's several Crystals out there that are all named Bill for some reason. I did go to this, didn't I? So this Bill Crystal, I don't know if you can see his picture here. This one here. Bill Crystal. I got to meet him. He has his office in Washington, D.C. 1 year, we took 4 students from UAA. We had a school within a school within a school here. So we had you have an honors college, and inside the honors college we had what was called the 49th State Fellows. It was funded by earmarks from Senator Stevens, so we were pretty rich actually, and we could afford to take students on trips back east. So my wife and I were with a group of 4 students that went, and we visited Bill Crystal in his office. I remember seeing his, he had a bust of Lincoln on his table there, and I praised it. As a result, my wife bought me one for my birthday. Weird things. But notice today, this is his emails to me, and it was not too long ago that I read him say that whether you like it or not, we're all Democrats now. And this is one of the conservative Republicans, that I got to visit in D.C. with conservative Republicans. The people that set that school within a school up here were conservative Republicans. Jim Mueller, the head of the political science department, was the head of it. Although Steve Haycox, who was also a member of it, was actually the liberal on the other side. So they had kind of a variety of things. But what's the concern? The concern is the character of the individual that's leading the Republican MAGA party. Is a felon, has done all kinds of things that indicate that his character is absolutely horrible from a conservative point of view. If you're going to be a good conservative, you have to be as good an Aristotelian person as you can be. And my goodness, we've totally lost that. I remember reading, when he was visiting Jerusalem, the first major trip that he made, and he was in Saudi Arabia, and then he came back and he was in a meeting with Israelis, and he says to them sitting around the table, as you know, we've just come back from a trip to the Middle East. And they all look at the camera and they're trying to restrain their laughter because he's still in the Middle East. He didn't realize he's still in the Middle East. Or maybe he was tired. But this is also the same guy. He's the chief diplomat for the United States, and he says, all those Mexican countries. Well, there's Mexico. What on earth is he talking about? And then he, even worse, used the phrase, shit, why do we care about these shithole countries? This is just really, really hurtful. The quiz question for today is, how do you raise a good child? Remember, any answer you give me is a good answer as far as I'm concerned, because it's your thinking about it. For a test essay? That's closer to when we get to Jesus. I mean, in sequence. Thank you. What's your favorite music?
I don't really have a favorite music. I tend to not either listen to too much music, or if I do, it's too much mixing. So I can't really say I have a favorite song or a favorite.
Eventually have so many different favorites.
Do you think in ancient Greece they could all hear the music of the spheres?
I don't think so. It was a hypothesis.